Hi friends, my name is Heather. Welcome back to my channel. I like to talk about books and I like to read books and then I like to discuss those books with you. And today we are actually going to be doing a little bit of a book haul. I went on a book buying ban in February and I'm now realizing that that might do more harm than good because once I got off my book buying ban, damage was done. But not only am I going to show you some of the physical books that I've bought, but I'm also going to show you some of the books that I have gotten on Kindle Unlimited and kind of do a little KU haul on my Kindle and show you what I'm planning on getting to soon there as well. Without further ado, let's talk about the books that are now in my collection. Y'all are going to notice that there are a lot of fantasy books in this haul, and the first book I'm going to talk about is no exception to that, and that is A Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden. I picked this up because it is the A Tales of Starlight book club pick for this month. My friends Sam and April run that book over on Instagram and then do a live show on YouTube. So this is I would consider it new adult fantasy about our main character, Arwen. She lives on this continent that is based around gemstones, and so all of the countries and the kingdoms within the continent kind of are based on a certain gemstone. She is from the kingdom of Amber. Something happens that leads to her capture. She has a really cool healing magic and basically trades her family's freedom in exchange for her healing the kingdom of Onyx's people. From there, a very intense romance develops. There are dragons, there are magical creatures, there is a creepy gothic stronghold. Yeah, I've already read this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and say I recommend it to you. I haven't read all of these. That would be a lot of reading, but this one, so good. Next up, we have Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Mellers. Now, I bought this one for my in-person book club that I go to with a bunch of my teacher friends. It's supposed to be next weekend, and I actually just found out that I am going to be unable to attend. So even though I'm not going to be able to attend, I do still plan on getting to this book because I've heard really good things. This is a literary fiction romance, look at marriage, look at the people surrounding the main couple. An addictive, humorous, and poignant debut novel about the shockwaves caused by one couple's impulsive marriage. I don't know when I'm going to get to it since I'm not going to be able to read it for book club, but I am excited to get to this one. This is a pretty nice floppy book too. Next up, we have another fantasy, and that is A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle Jensen. This author wrote The Bridge Kingdom, which I didn't particularly like. I kind of DNF'd that one. Don't tell people that loved it. This is a kind of Viking Norse-inspired fantasy romance. I was going to wait and get it in the Book of the Month package, but then I saw people picking it up at Barnes & Noble, and these sprayed edges. Oh, they do something to my heart. A shield maiden blessed by the gods battles to unite a nation under a power-hungry king while fighting her growing desire for his fiery son in this Norse-inspired fantasy romance. Say no more. The cover's beautiful. It sounds like the story inside is beautiful. It's getting really good ratings by people who have picked this one up already. And I'm so here for it. This is actually the book that I'm reading right now, and I'm about 30 pages in, and all I can say is yes, this book is a yes. All right, we are veering out of my comfort zone for the next book, and that one is Paradise 1 by David Wellington. First thing I want you to look at is how chunky, but also how floppy this bad boy is. Like, this is the perfect book to hold and read and enjoy. So I picked this book up because my friend Brittany over at Books with Brittany read this recently and loved it. I think this one falls under kind of sci-fi horror, which neither of those are my preferred genre, but just hearing them gush about it definitely made me want to pick it up and buy into the hype. So I'll read you a little bit about this one. Paradise 1, Earth's first deep space colony. For thousands of people, it was an opportunity for a new life, until it went dark. No communication has been received from the colony for months, and it falls to Firewatch Inspector Alexandra Petrova and the crew of the Artemis to investigate. What they find is more haunting than anything they could have imagined. So that doesn't tell you very much, but it definitely sounds like there is a mystery of what happened to this space colony and kind of the aftermath of whatever discoveries they make. And I don't know why I'm excited about this one. It's not anything I would normally pick up, but I am really, really excited about this one. I also love the cover. I love how simple it is. I love the cracked space helmet, the black and the red. This was the last copy at Barnes & Noble, so I was like, I better just go ahead and grab it. All right, I also got my March Book of the Month package, and normally I get 1 or 2 books. I got 3 this month. Let's talk about them. First up, we got Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. This was one of their main picks for the month, and it is a thriller. The blurb says, "What if you thought you murdered your best friend and everyone else thought so too? And what if the truth doesn't matter?" Say No More. It's short. I fly through thrillers, so this might be a good palate cleanser between some of these fantasies that I plan to get to soon. A young couple finds themselves haunted by a string of gruesome murders committed along an old deserted road in this terrifying new novel from the best-selling author of the Book of Cold Cases. It takes place in July 1995, and April and Eddie have taken a wrong turn. As a child of the 90s, I love reading anything set in the 90s. I also think I saw that Book of the Month advertised this one as a paranormal story? Question mark? The last book that I picked up in my Book of the Month box is Happily Never After by Lynn Painter. Now, I have not read anything by Lynn Painter, and I know her young adult series are very widely beloved. I am not a young adult romance reader. I can't do it. I don't know if it's because I work in a middle school and I deal with young romance every day, but I can't read those books. But an adult romance, I can get behind. So this book follows 2 people who get hired to object at weddings, and I think they have to end up working together on a certain wedding, and maybe they fall for each other. It sounds like a really unique concept. I love reading books set around weddings. This one sounds like it would be really good to read by the pool in a few months, so catch me reading this in the sunshine. Next up, we have an adult fantasy start to a series, and this is The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. This is the first book in the Rose and Rook series. First of all, the cover is beautiful. Second of all, I won this in a giveaway from my friend Lexi. I will link her Instagram and her YouTube down below so that you can go check her out. She makes really, really good reading vlogs, and I just enjoy her content a lot. But I won this in a giveaway. She let me pick 1 book off of my wish list, and I am in like a chunky adult fantasy mood right now, so this is the one I picked up. And this one says, "Fortune favors the bold, magic favors the liars." Rin is a con artist who has come to the sparkling city of Nadezra with one goal: to trick her way into a noble house, securing her fortune and her sister's future. But her masquerade is just one of many, and as corrupt nightmare magic begins to weave its way through the city of dreams, the poisonous feuds of its nobility and the shadowy dangers of its impoverished underbelly become tangled, and Rin is at their heart. Everything about this, the tone, the setting, the nightmare magic, the game of houses, that is all like buzzword, buzzword, buzzword for me. And even though it's really long, and because it's from Orbit, it's perfectly floppy, I just think that I am going to enjoy every moment spent in this lush fantasy world, and I can't wait to just like binge this whole series. Next 2 were also on my anticipated reads of the year, so I'm really excited to have them in my possession. And the first one is The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. This one sounds like it was made for me, and after seeing Reagan at Peruse Project do a reading vlog on this book, I know even more that I'm just going to love it. Also, this book does not have a dust jacket. Everything is printed on the cover. Look at the leaves. And I'm so used to like a hardcover having the synopsis on the dust jacket that I missed that it was on the back. In Diratana's grandest mansion, an imperial officer lies dead, killed to all appearances when a tree erupted from his body. Even here at the Empire's borders where contagions abound and the blood of the Leviathans works strange magical changes, it's a death both terrifying and impossible. Assigned to investigate is Anna, a detective whose reputation for brilliance is matched only by her eccentricities. Rumor has it that she always wears a blindfold and can solve impossible cases without stepping outside of the walls of her home. It sounds like Poirot sitting in his chair, twirling his mustache. I love it. At her side is her new assistant, Denias Cole, magically altered in ways that make him the perfect aid to Anna's brilliance. Din is at times scandalized, perplexed, and infuriated by his new superior. But as the two close in on a mastermind and Anna makes one startling deduction after the next, he realizes that she is indeed the Empire's greatest detective and wonders how long he can keep his own secrets safe from her piercing intellect. Like, this is not on my TBR for the month, but it might be making its way up there because everything about this synopsis sounds like it's going to be a ride from beginning to end. The last physical book I have to share with you in this haul is A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal, and another one I'm really excited about, and I believe that this one is actually young adult, which if you haven't been able to tell from the variety that I've shared with you already, young adult isn't really my thing, but I'm always willing to give it a try. First thing I have to say is I love this cover. I love her kind of like street urchin looking outfit. I love the blood in the teacup. I love the color palette. Why save the world when you can have tea? What a blurb. We have a heist, we have vampires, we have a ragtag crew. Yes. All right, next up, we're gonna talk about some of the KU books that I have ready to go on my Kindle. Some of my stickers have shifted, so please ignore how chaotic this looks, but I have a lot on here that I'm really excited to read and really excited to share with y'all as well. First up, we have When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. And as far as these Kindle books go, I'm not gonna be able to tell you much about them, except like that they've been recommended to me, and that makes me really hyped about them. This is actually on my like immediate TBR as soon as I finish A Fate Inked in Blood. This is the book I'm picking up. I have heard it recommended by so many people. I've seen it all over Instagram. Brittany at Books with Brittany loves it. Rachel at Raven-Haired Reader has loved and adored this book. I have a coworker reading this book. It's chunky. I know that there's something about like dragons in the sky and they're like stuck there, but I know it's so much more than that. The cover is beautiful. Everybody that is giving it a review is making me have FOMO that I'm not reading it right now. So like I said, this is up very soon on my immediate TBR. Another one that I'm excited to get to soon on my Kindle is Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. I don't know anything about it, but if somebody that I know in real life, as well as people I trust on the internet, have given it such good reviews, it's definitely one that is on my I need to get to this soon list. People who have read it fly through this series, even though it's not like the shortest thing in the world, and I am here for a fantasy that just keeps me turning pages, especially if it's got a little bit of romance involved, and from what I hear, this one has it all. We also have The Road of Bones, and this is by Demi Winters. This is another Viking-inspired fantasy, so if I like A Fate Inked in Blood and want to stay in kind of the realm of that world, this is one I'll definitely be picking up. I have not heard as much about this one on the internet, but I have a friend who has been reading a lot, especially on KU, and she highly recommended this series. She gave it 5 stars, and so it just has me intrigued. So it's gonna live in my KU library until I get around to it. And like I said, if the Viking-inspired story that I'm reading right now leaves me wanting more of that Viking Norse world, this will be one of my next reads. And the last book that I want to get around to on my Kindle from my KU library is A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. I know that it is kind of on this island setting. We have a bard, we have rivals, but more importantly than that is we have Rebecca Ross's beautiful lyrical writing, and that's all I really need. So guys, are you excited about any of the books that I have picked up? Is there one that you really want to see me get to soon? Please let me know in the comments below, because like I feel equally excited about all of these books, and it is so hard making decisions on what to read next. All that to say, I have some fantasy, I have some romance, I have some thrillers, and I have some literary fiction in my future, and the future is looking bright. I hope you guys are having a lovely day. As always, my social media is linked below in the comments. I love interacting with you guys over there. I love interacting with you in the comments down below, and I cannot wait to see you in another video soon. Bye guys.